And they say stuff like, well, it's because our trains intermix with freight trains or whatever. Still doesn't matter. If it has a crumpled impact zone of, the 800,000 pounds or 200,000 pounds, if it hits a freight train, people are going to die, period. It doesn't make a damn how tough you make it. You just can't run it into stuff. That's the plain and simple of it. So they're trying to, it basically comes down to they're trying to fix the wrong problem.
Yeah.
And it's just the wrong thing to do, but for some reason, somebody with enough political clout or enough clout at the FRA doesn't fix that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll get some headroom with the PTC being put into place and the active train control and all that kind of stuff. But, until somebody stands up and says, hey, just because the rules are trying to deny reality, doesn't mean that we should follow the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should think this through a little bit, use our brains.
It's bureaucracy. It's bureaucracy that's created this.
And I think it also boils down to the simple fact that barely anybody pays any attention to transit or trains or anything in this country because no one has any vested interest.
Nobody cares about it. Right?
Everybody has their own car, and then they just get pissed if the roads are.
I mean, we can see that the transit cuts across the country are barely raising a peep, except in the transit circles.
Even though everything is increasing in usage.
Yeah, right. It's record ridership, and they're cutting it. I mean, how? What else is there to say, man? They're buying new they're buying new buses, but they're cutting.
Two major priority issues here. One is our usage is completely disconnected from any market relevance with what people want. That's the first thing. And two, the politicians are completely disconnected from what people want.
Yeah, well, we know that.
So you have two completely broken priorities, and it's about the only two priorities that can set things for transit.
Politically, the only focus is on capital costs. As long as we get our capital dollars, they're happy.
Yeah.
Who cares about the operational costs?
Why do they want capital expenditure? But no, I don't get that.
They can build out the system.
They're not responsible.
It's some kind of accounting thing or something.
Who's responsible for operating TriMet? Who's responsible for operating TriMet? Fred Hansen. Who is he accountable to? The board of directors. Who's the board of directors accountable to? The governor. Do you really think the governor gives a rat's ass about TriMet? No.
Yep.
Now, who gets the money? Earl Blumenauer, David Wu, the people that actually get to be elected every 2 to 6 years.
And what do those people see out on 82nd, 122nd? They ain't paying any damn attention to actual operations. They see stuff like, oh, look, we got the West. They see these big flowery things, and they're like, yeah, we're saving the environment, hoo-yah, whatever. And then the governor gets to talk it up, the mayor gets to talk it up, all these other politicians get to talk it up. They got what they're after, and that's why they go after the capital money. Because they say,
you're right.
You're
right.
I do this.
When I had Fred Hansen's picture in the front of nobody knew who the hell it was. None of the riders in the bus knew. I couldn't believe it. Nobody knew who it was. Nobody.
Unless they're really into transit, they probably don't know,
No, they don't know. They don't have any idea about any of it. You're right. It's such an obscure piece of knowledge, just a we're probably four out of 10 people that care about it in the whole area.
Who do you contact? I mean, who's going to think to call Fred Hansen? Who the hell is Fred Hansen? They're going to call, city councilman. Maybe they know the council. Well, public transit's not our responsibility. You need to call TriMet. He can call TriMet. You can call 238 RIDE. You can hit option 0. You're going to talk to some customer service person whose job is basically to get you off the phone.
Yeah.
They don't report. I mean, maybe what they'll type into will get into some report that somehow, seriously, I hate complaining about a specific operator because 99% of the time it's not an operator problem. The only time I was able to get Fred Hansen's attention was to pull down the train sign on the bus, get the train number, and turn into operator. That's the only way I was able to get anything from Fred Hansen.
Well,
every other time,
info.
I gave specific info every other time. But finally, I had enough, and so I had to pull down the train sign. So she knew I was going to make a complaint about her. And I guess apparently from the letter Fred sent me, apparently Fred talked to her personally.
What, an operator?
With the operator. I don't know. Maybe it was through different channels. But the way he worded the letter, because he wrote the letter. That's the only way you get anything done. And that's total bullshit that you have to go all the way to that step when I've had 4 other complaints about the problem that's not operator specific. But instead, an operator got dung for a TriMet operational problem. That's a management problem.
Yeah.
Well, were they able to confirm it,
Speaking of problems, I just want to show you this little clumping that's occurring right now when there's not a lot of heavy traffic. It's refreshing.
All
But
12
just
and
look at the first two buses and tell me what's wrong.
What are you seeing there?
We have 5-minute service. Or 4-minute service.
5-minute 9 service right now.
Okay.
What the hell
That's
is
Saturday
going on?
night.
It's
Oh, and
Saturday
look at
night.
the 8. The 8's got to do the same thing, right? Hey, scroll down a little bit.
Let's see here.
So what's up with that? Do you think?
Yeah, the 8 has the same. 8 has. Oh no, wait. The 8's 14 and 40 minutes.
Okay.
The 19's the 16 minutes. Yeah, but I don't know. This happens on the 9 a lot.
Oh, it happens on 9 all the time.
When there's it clumps,
They clump up.
When there is
Bunching, they call
nothing
it.
on the road.
Well, how could that be? How can they bunch up if nothing on the road?
I don't know. It
See,
just-
well, you could. Well, you
Because
could
it
look
probably got delayed somewhere else as a 12 or a 20 or a 4.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
Whatever.
It's interlined. That's right. It's interlined, right?
You could have to look it up.
It's the same thing that
They're
happens
not
to the
gonna.
12.
They don't
They
do
all
anything for
interline
me.
to each other.
Well,
That's
I don't know
basic
if you
direction.
get access to it or not.
They're not going to give me access to anything. All I do is irritate them.
in the morning, and it really happens a lot in the morning, and this is where they run into
So the
serious
bunching,
throughput.
when you get
The
traffic
bunching
and
between.
stuff.
Well, also, I mean, they run them every 5 minutes. About in the morning, it's 5 to 7 minute frequency between like 7 a.m. and about 8:15. I think on the number 9 at least. I think the number 4 is real close to that too. But when you have them, that much, obviously they bunch. But then, I mean, you're looking at the capacity on them. When you bunch them, you immediately lose throughput of persons carried, and it screws up the whole thing. So all of a sudden, you have people push back and not able to ride because you have some of it bunch up.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to make it a 10-minute frequency or even an 8-minute frequency or something, and you need more capacity on a bus.
They could use that, like
know what
an
I'd like to
articulated bus, maybe would
Right.
help.
Here's what I like to
Maybe,
see. How
maybe
well
if
is
somebody invented one.
How well is the
A double
72
decker?
running?
They have them in other places.
What?
How well is the 72 running for on time?
I don't know.
Oh God, I don't know.
It runs at 8-minute intervals.
6 minutes.
It's a 6-minute.
I don't know. Do you want me to
I
look?
think it is 6 minutes.
It's insanely short. It runs on a god-awful busy, congested street that's
Oh, you
congested
should
at 3 in
see
the
that
morning.
tower. Well, if you ask me,
Northbound,
I don't know.
in Clackamas County, you have a northbound bus lane, but not southbound.
Well, I don't know. That's,
Somebody always tries to sing Journey, and it's hilarious. Well, they're doing karaoke in there, and a Journey song come on.
well,
So somebody's
want me
gonna
to go do it?
butcher it.
What's Journey?
Can you do Journey?
I gotta go